Is that the lady that you said is good with the for sale by owners?
Ginger?
Mm-hmm.
No. Ginger's one of the ones that just has she's got a big group of, she's been doing it forever. So she does a lot of sphere of influence. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Art of Self Promotion. This is REM 101 training in this particular series. Next week, we will be moving on to objection handling success. So let's go ahead and start with the art of self promotion. It's up to you to build your business and take your career to the next level. That's from real estate trainer Daryl Davis and his Power Agent program. But it really is up to you to build your business, take your career to the next level. This is a business that, and I've said this many, many times, we are in a business where business doesn't come to you. You have to go to the business. I always remember the story of somebody asked Wayne Gretzky. If you've never heard of Wayne Gretzky, he was considered probably the greatest hockey player, NHL hockey player of all time. And they asked him a question: what makes you so better than everybody else? And he said, I skate to where the puck is. Allen Iverson, former 76ers player, Philadelphia 76ers basketball player, used to lead the league in scoring. And the other thing he did, he was considered a ball hog. And what was it? He took more shots than everybody else. Both of those analogies tell you the same story. The more people that you talk to, skating where the puck is, what does that mean? It means going to where the business is, right? If you just kind of go to open spaces, which is what most hockey players do and did, and soccer, the same thing. You go to open spaces and hope somebody kicks in the ball. Well, if you hope somebody passes you the puck, it's going to happen and you're going to score some goals. But if you actually go to where the puck is, you're going to score more goals because that's where the action is. It's the same thing in real estate, and then taking shots. The more shots you take, even if you're not a great shooter, the more you're going to make. Just it's the law of averages. Even a bad shooter, you're going to hit some of them. It's the same thing in real estate. You have to go where the business is. You have to find who's looking to buy or sell now and get in front of them. Yes, you also need to work your sphere of influence. And sometimes that's not necessarily skating to where the puck is, because those people may or may not be ready to buy or sell. Those people may or may not know anybody that's ready to buy or sell. But it's still an important part of this, because we all know about 50% of people find their real estate through their sphere of influence. So you need to skate to where the puck is. You need to go to the business, not wait for the business to come to you. I had a friend that wrote me over the holiday weekend. I hadn't talked to him in a while. And he went and got his real estate license and came to my office, ready to start his day and ready to start his career. And he came in and he said, "Oh, which office can I have?" And so I gave him, we had cubicles there. I set him up. And he set this up like he was working in a bank or a Merrill Lynch office. And he would come in and sit there and wait for somebody to come into, he was waiting for somebody to come in like you would at a bank, go sit in the lobby, and then bring him over to his desk and go for this. And I said to him, if you continue to do this, come in here and put in an 8-hour day, I said, nobody walks in our office. I was in a very busy shopping center. And in the 5 or 6 years that I was in that office, we had a handful of people walk in. and they were all for directions. Hey, can you tell me how to get here or how to get there? I tried to set up, I was doing the business. I thought this was going to be a good thing. I put a little living room area, kind of like what we have out front here and over there with the couch, where people could come in. And I had a Kirk and, free coffee. We many times would have little snacks and stuff like that for, if people want to come in and use our internet for free. I figured, hey, this will bring people in, this, that, whatever. Guess what? Nothing. That's just not what it is. You can't expect people to come into you. Those days are over. It used to be in this business that you work the office. In fact, I had somebody in an interview last week ask me about floor time. I said, well, you can have all the floor time you want. Oh, well, do I have to ask somebody? Is it required? I said, we don't require it. I said, in fact, if you ask most of my agents about floor time, if they haven't been in the business for at least 15 years, they don't even know what floor time is. Floor time used to be you'd sit because you'd get leads that way because there was no internet. And the only way to find out what was listed was to go into a real estate office and sit down with a realtor. Guys, it doesn't happen anymore. So you need to wake up and realize I need to go to the business, not wait for it to come to me. All right, managing yourself effectively. Remember that you have your own business inside of a business. I always like to say you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Here at Century 21, and I know some of you other guys are other franchises that watch this, and that's fine, or whatever brokerage you're with, your brokerage offers you tools, resources, all types of different things. I make this real simple. I use McDonald's because everybody knows what it is. When you go into a McDonald's as a parent company in most cases do not own the restaurant. Okay, they are franchisees. Same thing in real estate. When you walk into a Century 21 office, well, guess what? There are thousands and thousands of different owners of Century 21 offices, right? But that franchise, so you're a franchisee in yourself. You have decided that I'm going to open a business like a McDonald's, like an Applebee's, you pick the business that you can buy a franchise from, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. And you've decided that that's why you want to brand yourself. Why? Because we have a system that works. We have advertising. We provide your website, name recognition. If you're out of town, many people, if they're out of town, won't go to a mom and pop restaurant because they don't know anything about it. They'd rather go to an Applebee's or a Chili's. I happen to be the exception to that. I don't eat at fast food restaurants, but most people go with a name that they know. I know what I'm going to get if I walk into a Ruby Tuesdays because there's a Ruby Tuesdays down the street from my house. So I'm going to go there, right? Same thing here. And that's why it's so important I digress here, but that's why it's important to go with a name brand that people know. Not 93% or 94% of Americans recognize Century 21 as a real estate company. So when you say you're with Century 21, you have an immediate presence. You have an immediate, people are going to trust you, know you, and like you, or well, they may not like you. You have to do that, but they're going to trust the business and everything like that because they know that you are with an established, well represented company. So hopefully for everybody that's out there, if you're not with a company that or people don't know the name or whatever else, make sure that you make sure that you get with a company that where people are going to recognize your brand. All right, I'm done with that conversation. All right, but remember that you own a business inside of a business, and if McDonald's teaches you how to make cheeseburgers, right, and French fries and whatever else, and you decide you're going to deviate from their business system, right, or not use the models that they do, your business is probably going to fail. Because people are going there to expect a certain thing. If you eat at McDonald's in Florida or New Jersey or California, you expect the exact same thing. It's the same thing for you guys. The tools and the resources are here from your franchise. Now you have to use them to be successful. So what do you need to do? You need to focus on your client base. If you don't have a client base, you need to build a client base. How do you do that? You do that by number one, prospecting. Prospecting by far is the greatest way to, especially for new agents, to get now business. You can do it for pretty much free, if not for free. Most of the things you do in prospecting are for free. And when you prospect, you want to prospect for people that are looking to sell or buy now. What are the biggest people for that? For sell by owners. Um, Expired listings. They're the two biggest ones we send people to. The other one is working, prospecting driven open houses. Farming. Farming is a little bit more of marketing and advertising, but farming, you know that if you have a neighborhood of 500 people, you're going to have a half dozen, maybe more, list their house in the next 12 months. You get one or two of them, you're happy, right? And if you do it over time, that number will pick up. You'll get a bigger market share and grow and grow and grow. You need to maintain your budget. If you open a McDonald's and decide to do all this crazy stuff, you're still going to go out of business because you didn't manage your budget. And of course, you need to focus on reaching your goals. But the biggest thing we're talking about today is you need to focus on self-promotion. First question I have, and I need you to answer this. You don't need to answer it right now. You can put it in the chat if you'd like feedback on it, but you don't have to. What makes you different? What makes you unique? I told the story in other trainings. I had when I started in the business, I started as Bay House Bill. I was a boater, avid boater. I grew up. My parents live on the water in New Jersey, so I grew up on the water, and I made that my specialty. I had a guy that called himself the Condo King and specialized in condos. I had somebody that I'm surprised I don't have anybody right now, and I haven't down here. I did in New Jersey, though. I have people focus on 55 and over communities, huge in Florida, right? That's your specialty. So when somebody says, well, I'm 55 and I want to buy a 55 and over, and they're going to pick somebody and they see somebody that says, oh, I'm a 55 and over, I'm a senior living or what they call active adult living specialist, it's going to differentiate you. Do you have to do it like that by sector? No, not necessarily. You can make yourself different in many different ways. I told you I've got a guy that I trained, and his motto is "Get rich in real estate." His name's Rich Simonetti, and he did that to differentiate himself, to kind of give himself a catch that people would remember him. You want people to remember you. I had a friend that sold cars. His name was Joe Baltzell, and he used to say, when you tell your friends, just come see Joe Balls, New Jersey for you, right? But that was his thing, so people would remember him. Something that's going to make you stand out and get people to remember you is very, very important in this business. So I'm going to give you 8 concepts of self-promotion. Again, I said this before, but you are a business inside of a business. Consider your brokerage as someone that sold you a franchise. You purchased a franchise. You're a franchisee of Century 21, of wherever you work. The franchise gives you a name, national and international, in our case, advertising, job and skill training. We're sitting in a training right now. Training on procedures and policies, how to write a contract, how to, those types of things, and a manual of how to run the business. It's up to the franchisee, however, to use all these tools to generate revenue, to staff. You guys, some of you are getting to a point, hopefully, where you need a transaction coordinator maybe, or whatever else. You need to advertise, and you need to run your business. I need you to think of yourself as a business person, because guess what you are? You are a business person, and you need to run your business. You need to build sales. You need to create supportive business relationships. We talked about the fact, how many local businesses are you in partnership with? Something I tell all the time, and one of my 17 places to find prospects is going and partnering with other businesses, doing advertising with them, doing the quid pro quo. I'm going to send you business, you send me business, blah, 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 the fair trade, we call it. All those things. You need to promote yourself. People need to know who you are, what you do for a living, and that if they or anybody they know has a real estate need, they come to you. And again, hire people as needed. Remember that you and you alone are responsible for your career. We're here to support you. I will go to hell and back with anybody that I work with to make you successful. I will train you. I will help you. I will take your phone call at 10 o'clock at night and walk you through something. I'm here for you 100%, but you got to be here 100% for yourself. You got to push yourself to do this and make sure that at the end of the day, you look in the mirror. I interview a lot of realtors and they come in, oh, my broker doesn't support me. They blame the broker. And let me tell you, most broker trainings out there, you're never going to get trained. You won't get trainings like what we do here anywhere in the country. Forget the area, anywhere in the country. And I thought, when I started doing this 12 years ago, that people would see what I was doing and copy it. And I found out they don't care. And they just, it's not the business model of real estate, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, most of the people that come in and blame their broker, I'll just ask some simple questions. Do you spend 3 hours on the phone 5 days a week? You don't need to be on the phone. Do you spend 15 hours a week out building your business, meeting new people, going to where the business, again, skating to where the puck is, going to where the business is? Well, no, I spent a lot of my time setting up marketing things on social media. And, I tried this ad thing in social media. I spent $500. They told me I was getting all these clients. I got one bad lead, or I got 10 bad leads, or, and whatever else. So the last concept on this, on number one, is a really important one too, that I need you to consider. People come in, so you have to understand, most people that are brokers, all they are top salespeople that went and got a broker's license. They don't have leadership training. They really don't have business training other than what they've learned running their own real estate business. You need to not think of yourself as a salesperson. I always say you want to be a consultant. You want to be an advisor and a consultant, right? Somebody tells you what their desires are. We want to move here, blah, 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 by when, and this and that and whatever. You advise them of the best way to do that and coach them through it, right? But the other part is you need to think of yourself as a business person. You are a business person in business for yourself. What does that mean? It means you need to have inventory for your business. What's inventory for your business? That's listings. If you don't have any inventory, if you were a retail store and you didn't have inventory and Black Friday came, would you be surprised at the end of Black Friday if you didn't have any sales? Of course not, because you didn't have anything to sell them. Start thinking that way. If I don't have any clients, all right, if I don't have buyers, or I don't have whatever, how would I expect to meet a revenue goal that I've set without a client? And then you need to go and put this into the practical, which is, okay, now I need to go out and do this. I need to build my inventory. And you say, I want to have 5 houses in my inventory at all times, which means having 5 listings at all times. One goes under contract. You have to move heaven and earth to make sure you have another one. So you always keep that minimum number. I always want to be working with 3 A buyers. Again, you come up with these numbers. These are your things, but that's how a business person thinks. And then they figure out how they're going to get there, as opposed to, I'd really like to be working with a client. That's not thinking like a business person. That's thinking like a salesperson. I really want to get a listing. That's thinking like a salesperson, not a business person. Number 2, huge. I need you to become the mayor of your town. You need to be a local celebrity. When I first started teaching this, there weren't things like what we have now. But now, what are they called now? Influencers. I am an influencer, right? I got 1 million followers on wherever, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, right? You need to become one of them. And not just on social media, because that's a huge power of numbers game. You need to do it locally. People need to know who you are. When you walk into a business, somebody should say, oh yeah, that's that guy or that's that gal. It's a realtor. They should know you as a local expert. You want as many people, and I put everyone in when I wrote this, when everyone's the right deal. You want everyone to be familiar with your face, your name, and what you do for a living. So ask yourself, question number 2, I want you to answer. Again, you don't have to answer to me, but answer this to yourself. You're the business person running your business. What are you doing to stand out from every other agent out there? What are you doing so that, when you go into your town, You could be standing next to the other realtor and people know you as the realtor and they don't know them. Number 3, you need to be at the center of your marketing. Always make yourself the focus. Use your brand to reinforce the message. Use your company's name and local reach to get your name out there and make you the focus. Number 4, you need to be unique. What's your gimmick or hook? We really already hit this, but I'm just, here it is again. What makes you unique or different? Is it portrayed in your marketing? Is it portrayed in a slogan you use? Is it portrayed in a logo? A couple of things I'm going to encourage you to do. Again, you're business people. Do you have a mission statement? Write a mission statement. Put that mission statement on your website. What's your slogan, right? Mine is, no one knows your town like the official town guru, right? Because I used the My Town Gurus system that I created. So nobody knows your town like the guru. Well, who am I going to go to? Who am I going to go to? Somebody that's a general realtor or the condo king? Because I want to sell my townhouse. I'm going to go to the condo king. Number 5, and I left off their logo. It's on the bullet. I didn't say it. But have something that catches people's eye that goes along with your brand. Of course, you have to have your brand in there. Check your state requirements, because usually your brand logo needs to be as big as your personal logo in most states, if not all states. I don't know every state's law, but in the states I'm licensed in, it does. But make yours so it's memorable. Number 5, consider your perceived value. Do people perceive you as knowledgeable? As successful? I wanted to say that too. Also, do they perceive you as knowledgeable? That's an important part too. But do they perceive you as successful? I'm brand new. Doesn't matter. Send out that successful vibe. That's why I tell you guys, put stuff out with other people's listings. Nobody looks who the listing agent is. They see you putting stuff out there with listings on it. Guess what? They assume they're yours. Let them assume. Assume away, as Johnny Carson would have said. It's better to have one quality marketing material than 5 shoddy ones. Right? I'm just going to advertise everywhere. Well, I can't afford like a really nice piece, so I'm just going to do these 5, pieces to hit more people. You're better off doing one quality piece where people say, "Wow, that's and it wows them." Gives them that wow factor. Because what does that do? It makes you look successful and professional. And of course, the biggest thing I have to teach every realtor that's new: fake it until you make it. If you go into the person in your office that's been in this business for 30 years, move on here now. Somebody that's been in this business. I had worked with a woman that's been in this business for 53 years. Even if you ask, when she got started in 1972, she didn't have any clients. She started by faking it until she made it. Everybody has to do that. And how do you do that? By putting out a confident, successful product and vibe. Number 6, expect to wait a year for results. Oh my God, nobody wants to hear this. I want sales right away. Yeah, okay. You're going to get sales right away by doing the prospecting. But when you're talking about self-promotion, and that's what we're talking about today, self-promotion takes time and it takes consistency. Oh, I've been going to this networking thing for 3 months and I haven't gotten anything out of it. I'm going to do something else. You ever see those people? I see way too much, especially in this business. They switch what they're doing. So I'm going to write a new plan. I'm going to try something new. There's nothing wrong. You need to try new things, but you need to stick with the things that you're doing. Understanding that it can take a year to produce fruit. I told the story of my fruit trees. I fertilized them yesterday, September 1st. So it was time to fertilize. I have 12 trees. So far, in total, 3 have produced fruit. I have one that produces fruit year round. It's a key lime tree and it's delicious. I've got an orange tree now for the first time producing, and it's got 5 oranges, and that's all I'm going to get this year. And that's fine. I had my banana tree finally had bananas this summer, but the other 9, I'm still waiting for. I was worried about my lemon tree because it's become huge and there's no lemons. Got to be patient. I went in on the internet and read about that breed. It's 4 years. So probably this winter it'll start. But for 4 years, I've been feeding it and doing all these things and not had any results. Same thing for you guys. But you have to consistently do it. Had I said, "Oh, I've been feeding this tree for 6 months," screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore, and stop feeding it and watering it, what would happen? nothing, or it would probably die, and it wouldn't produce fruit even if it lived. So you have to continue over the long haul. Self-promotion is very much like farming that we talked about in the first and the third sessions of this training. And it should be done in addition to your prospecting, not in lieu of, because your prospecting is what's going to give you the business now. Spend most of your time prospecting, but you need to be consistent with your self-promotional efforts. Number 7, remember that repetition is the mother of results. Make your plan and stick to it. Follow through, follow through, follow through. If you do, it will equal success. Be consistent, be persistent, and always remember that your goal is to be synonymous with real estate. You want top of mind status. When somebody thinks of real estate, your face comes into their head. Become their real estate resource. I don't care if they're not looking to buy or sell now. You're still their resource. Tell them what their house is worth. Tell them what's going on in the market. Tell them about interest rates. Tell them about what's going on in insurance if you're in Florida. Think about this. When people say the golden arches, what do you think of? You think of McDonald's, right? It's the same concept for you. I have a bunch of these things in my head. When I've had groups of like 100, 200 agents when I'm doing this training, I'll ask these things, and it's been funny through the years. It's gotten less or less. We'll try a couple of them. When this person talks, people listen. Anybody know that? You know that one? Mm-hmm. Too young. E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. That ad was on television for years. You deserve a break today at McDonald's. You see, they're older ads. Yeah, all these, when I wrote these, were, even then, they were probably a little bit old. But there are so many things like that. I'm trying to think of one today because unfortunately, advertisers have lost the art of this. A home of the Whopper. Burger King. You got it. These are things that people go and they associate with businesses, and they associate with certain things. What makes, when you say something, makes people think of you, and it needs to be real estate related. Number 8, focus on building your client base. Prospecting, servicing listings, serving buyers is the foundation for building the base of your business. The good news is, within 5 years, if you continue to do this, 80% of your business will come from farming and advertising efforts. Am I telling you that you need to stop prospecting? I hate to tell you this. If you're 100 years old and still doing this business, you still need to prospect. It just needs to be a part of your life, and it's not that bad. I see people all the time, they're scared to death of it. And then when they go and do it, and they're like, oh, that really isn't so bad. Yeah, it takes discipline. But I mean, even our situation, right? You picked up the phone, called the for sale by owner, boom, you got an appointment, right? And the greatest of appointments, you got an appointment. The point is, though, you keep doing it, you're going to get great appointments. You're going to get listings. And it's hard in the beginning. It's building a new skill and building a new habit. But you need to do it. But the good news is, if you keep doing these other things that we're teaching you in addition to it, you're not going to have to solely rely on those types of leads. So you prospect for today, you self-promote for the long term. And you need to put that in perspective, guys. As much as I know today is about self-promotion and not about prospecting, too many people spend way too much of their time, oh, I'm going to create this marketing thing, and I'm going to do this thing on social media, I'm going to do this thing in a neighborhood, and I'm going to have this event, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to this networking thing. Those are all good things, but they shouldn't be what's consuming your mind. Consuming your mind should be, I need to get a little better in my conversation, in this part of my conversation when talking to an expired listing or for sale by owner, and focus your time and energy, most of your time and energy on the prospecting part. Do this on the side, build it, be consistent and persistent with it, and it will grow. But don't let this consume you over your prospecting. All right. Preparing a self-promotion campaign. First thing you need to do is define who am I going for? Who's my target market? Is it a neighborhood? Is it I'm going to go for the business owners? Whatever it is. Am I going to go for condominiums like we talked about, or 55 and over, or whatever? Identify your market position. What is your differentiator? I already asked you that question. I put it here again so you don't forget that I asked it. I hope you wrote it down and you answer this. Create a a logo, and a slogan. Create a mission statement. I don't think I have that in here, do I? But it needs to be. Create a mission statement. Target a non-saturated area. Do a SWOT analysis. You know what a SWOT analysis is? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you go into an area, God bless you, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the strengths of the people that are already working there? What are their weaknesses? What is your opportunity? Is there a good business opportunity there? And what threats? What's going to stop you from being successful there? When you understand that, you're going to understand your market better by researching it. And you're going to be able to define your target market in a place where you know you're going to be able to get business. Design a comprehensive marketing plan. Next, we talk about that in this course, but next month, we're going to spend 2 or 3 weeks developing your business plan for 2026. And part of that is designing a comprehensive marketing plan that when you walk into 2026, you are going to know every month what I'm doing. Realtors that farm, most of them, oh man, September's here. What am I doing this month? Today's September 2nd. You guys watching this, that's when we tape this. No, I need to be 2 months ahead all the time. I should have my December stuff already ready to go. The other thing is when I do it month to month to month like that, it's just what pops in my head today, right? I don't want that. I want a plan that's going to build on the month before and the month before and the month before. So it's a reinforced message. You're going to get way better results by having all your stuff planned ahead because this will work with that and it'll set up me doing this and then set up me doing that. Make sure you have 6 months of marketing. You really need a year. That you're able to, whatever you're going to do, if you're going to put a budget to this, that you can sustain that budget for the entire time of your marketing plan. And really it's 12 months, not 6. Identifying your market position. I do have it in here. What is your mission statement? Write a mission statement. Put it on your website. Put it on your materials. We put together listing packets and buyers packets. Your mission statement should be a part of it. Makes people realize that you're not just some salesperson. You have a mission of, helping people find their dream home or helping people, sell their home and blah, 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 blah. You need to write it out. Your mission statement should declare what you are about. It's a few sentences stating your business strategy. And writing this will give your business some focus. And you can also use it in your promotional materials to let buyers and sellers know what you're committed to. What are you committed to? Well, I always tell you, find out what they're committed to. Well, guess what? They want to know what you're committed to. You're committed to making their experience the best it could possibly be to help them reach their real estate goal. Speak to that. What are your values? What are my mission values? Values make up the characteristics of your business. Your values represent the rules of the game that you will always play by no matter what, and your actions will reflect these values. Oh, some sleazy realtor. Well, guess what? Not this one. My realtor actually has their values written out. I've got a person of integrity. I have a person that cares. I have a person with a mission statement that their mission is to help me have a great real estate experience. What are my credentials and accomplishments? For you guys that are new, you use the company stuff. We did $2 billion in business last year. Find another company that does that. Another franchise that does, franchisee, not franchise, but franchisee that does that. But when you get your own things, put them in there. Think about what you have accomplished. Question number 3 for this one. What have you accomplished in real estate and in life? And how can you use them? Write these things down and figure out how you can use them to differentiate yourself and identify your market position. So again, who is my target audience? Asking you this again because I need you to focus on this. Who are you focusing on? Is it geography? I'm going to hit a neighborhood. Is it price range? Is it demographics? I'm going to do 55 and over. Is it investors? God help you. Is it a home style? I work with X number, and again, home styles in Florida are a little different. In the Northeast, it could be all types of different things. I'm going to work with farm homes, whatever. Whatever these things are, you need to identify your market position. Does it mean you can't work with other people? Absolutely not. But when you're going out finding clients that have these particular things and they see you're a specialist in what it is they have or in what they want, you are going to go to the top of their list. Who are my partners? I went Sunday and went down to a little favorite place I go to in Newport Richey. And when you go in there, they've got my business cards in a little business card holder. I'm the only one with business cards up in the entire place of any business. I also have a little box with my dog treats in them and bags for people with dogs with my business card in there prominently. If somebody walks into this establishment and says anything about wanting to buy or sell a house, guess what? Every person that works in there, I shouldn't say almost every person that works in there knows me inside and out, and is going to walk over and say, here, and hand them a business card. Or, hey, do you have a dog? Take this packet. It's got his business card in it. How many places can you say that about? I got another place called Fitzgerald's, a little Irish pub, great food. They do the same thing. They're my partners, and there's many of those businesses are my partners. That if you go in there, they're going to recommend me for real estate. I, of course, send people to their places. I've created videos of many of these businesses that are reviews that you can watch on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook and on my website. So ask, who can you partner your business with? We know the ones that everybody teaches you in real estate, mortgage, right? Of course. Title, of course. But there's other ones, local businesses. How about ancillary services? Do you have a relationship with an investor? Like an investment guy? People will go to an investment guy and say, I want to buy a house in 2 years. Can you help me put together a savings thing or a portfolio thing to be able to do this? Insurance. Do you have an insurance person that you work with? Who will recommend your business, or who will you recommend business to, and who will recommend your business to other people? Ask yourself that question and keep growing that. Make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Business owners, just to digress for a second, business owners tend, if they have a successful business, tend to know a lot of people. They're a great way to work a sphere of influence and get your name out there and again, promote you. So start your self-promotion campaign now. Get your slogan. Slogans are easily remembered and can help you stand out from the crowd. Slogans help people remember you and the fact that you're in real estate. It can tie to your name. Again, get rich in real estate. Type of house you specialize in. Bayfront Bill. I thought it was Bay House Bill. I think it was Bayfront Bill. It's been a couple of years. It can be catchy if it rhymes. It's worth considering. Something that's going to stick in people's minds, right? It should be something catchy about your target market, or it could be something catchy about your target market that makes you just as memorable. So be creative with this. These days, you can go into ChatGPT and get ideas. Logos. A logo is a visual key that prompts people to remember you by associating your name and image with an icon. People remember, people think of that Century 21 logo. It's been around forever. Create your own that goes along with it. It should incorporate your name and your slogan. Remember, a logo distinguishes you from your competition. Most realtors don't have a logo. They just hand you a business card and whatever the brokerage thing is on it. Have it professionally designed. Of course, today with, I use Swift Publisher, but there's Canva out there, even ChatGPT. You can sometimes get around having to pay somebody now, but that's up to you. Make it look professional, however. 8 tips for self-promotion. Put your photo on everything. I had an agent that used to fight with me. She didn't like her picture out there. Beautiful woman, wouldn't want her picture out there. I said, you got to. Some people, you want people to recognize your face. When you walk in somewhere, you want people to say, oh yeah, there's that, that person. Also, don't use a glamour shot, and don't use a picture from 30 years ago. I love walking in real estate offices that are established and seeing pictures of realtors, then going and meeting them and say, oh, so I saw what you looked like before electricity, right? I still see pictures out there literally that I think were taken in the late 80s, early 90s. That doesn't look like you. So if I see that picture and then I see you in person, I'm not going to put the two together. Make sure you use the same picture. You can switch them from time to time. You'll see the picture I had in here's an old one of me. I've updated it, but only update it every couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years. And again, you need to update it so it's up to date. But if you have 3 pictures out there all at the same time, guess what? People get confused. Even if you look the same, but you're wearing different clothes, people get confused. Keep it simple. Always, always, always have a call to action in everything you do. Everything you do. Call for a free market analysis. Better, call now for a free market analysis. Call before interest rates go up. Things that are going to create urgency. Ask them for their business and create urgency. Always invest 10 to 20% of your income into self-promotion. You need to invest in your business. Remember, I made $100,000 in real estate last year. Well, guess what? 20,000 of it should have gone back into your business. You are a business. If I run, we'll use the easy one again. If I run a McDonald's, don't I have to buy equipment? Don't I have to buy food? If I don't have hamburgers in there that I bought, guess what? I got nothing to sell. Our business is not a business of product like that, although it is product when it comes to the houses. But as far as putting things into it, it's investing in self-promotion. So more people know who you are. So just think about it like a business, like we talked about. You can see what I wrote this. Originally, I redid this in 2022. I didn't take this out, probably just because I still now find it funny. But I don't know if there's any places now, but there were many realtors even 8-10 years ago that were not putting their area code on materials. You have to put your area code nowadays because I don't need to explain it. You guys got it. It's a different world. My 20-somethings are scratching their head. What's a phone number without an area code? Yeah. I remember the days when you could put a phone number in your cell phone and you didn't have to put an area code. And I remember also when that changed and I had to get used to it. But I'm also 50 years old, so, whatever. Number 5, use no more than 2 phone numbers in all ads. This has become easier because we don't have faxes anymore and stuff like that. If you start putting phone numbers all over the place, you're in trouble. Make your cell phone the most prominent. You don't want people calling your office. You just don't. Things can happen to get lost in translation. The person, somebody says something wrong on the phone. The person loses their initiative. They were ready then, and they called, and they were now waiting to get connected to you or waiting for you to call them back. So make sure your phone number is the most prominent. Of course, as you do this, follow all real estate laws. Don't create a sign without the broker's phone number on it if you're in a state where the broker's phone number is required. What I do and what I have my agents do is where the cell phone number is, it says call direct. That's the number now I'm going to call. So make your cell phone number stand out. Use follow-up mailings. Always reference the last time you connected with them, contacted them. Keep your ad, and follow-up is so huge. People don't follow up. They don't follow up with phone calls. We've talked about that in other trainings. They don't follow up with mailings. Following up with mailings is so important because people get a postcard in the mail from you. They throw them in the trash. They might have taken a glimpse at it. But now you call them, hey, I sent you that thing about, something going on in the neighborhood or, a house that went up in the market or whatever else. It's a house that is listed. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And now all of a sudden you're cementing yourself. You're anchoring yourself. It's called an anchoring technique. Keep your ads clean. No, that doesn't mean from foul language. I'm just, haha. Don't use too many words or clutter your materials. I have an MBA in digital marketing, and I'm guilty of this. I want to put too much in there. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. Make it so it looks clean and there's not too much on them. Work with partners, mortgage, title, local businesses. Let me go back to number 7 real quick. I had a client, when you heard about him, I ended up, unfortunately, I had to fire him because he was just whatever. He wanted me to write every last thing. He wanted me to write about every blade of carpet on every piece of material I had go out. And the thing, I said, nobody's going to read it. And it looks horrible. It looks cluttered, very much like his house. People only read the first couple of things. That's like when we tell you to make videos. What do we tell you to do? Keep them 30 seconds. Keep them under a minute. Why? Because people don't watch more. Go on one of your videos and see the watches. You go, oh, I had 300 people watch my video or 3,000 people watch my video. Great. And then look, how many of them were 15 seconds or less? That's all they watch. Get your message out and get it out quickly. Same thing on your marketing materials. Again, work with partners, mortgage, title, local businesses. Have them shoulder the costs with you. They'll do that. All right, moving on. 16 marketing tools for you. Number 1, your business cards. You need to have your photo, cell phone, your website. Put call direct on your phone, just like you would in a sign. Make sure your social media is there. That's why you only want one that's one reason. There's many reasons. And your email address. Some people now are not putting their email address. So I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to talk on business cards for a second. They're not putting their email address. Well, guess what? Older school people still want to send you an email. Second thing, QR codes. I love QR codes. I have 3 of them on my business card. One to attract one for new agents, or for agents, for me recruiting. One for sellers, and one for what's my property worth. And you click on them, they take you right to a website, and you can grab that stuff. But I also have my website listed. I worked with a broker for about a year, and she would not put websites on the business card. She gave away, first business card. She wouldn't put website. You got to put the website. The QR code's there. I said, do you know what percentage of people don't know how to use a QR code? And it's probably still 60, 65%. Her thing back was, well, we don't want those kind of clients. I'm like, well, no, I won't say it, but it's just, that was dumb. It was dumb. I'll leave it at that. Put the website too. It's redundant. No, put the website too. A lot of people don't know how to use a QR code. However, have the QR code because it shows you're tech savvy, and there are a certain group of people that expect it, especially if you're working with younger generations. Use just listed postcards. You list a house, you want to canvass that neighborhood. Well, why that neighborhood? Nobody's going to buy and move down the street. Well, it does happen occasionally, but that's not why. Because they see now that you are an experienced agent in their neighborhood. And if they're thinking of selling, guess who they might call? They're going to call you. Have a newsletter. Automate newsletters using a third-party service. For those of us doing Century 21, they do it for us. All you have to do is subscribe a person when you put them into your CRM. Set it up, set it and forget it. Flyers, just listed, just sold, neighborhood updates, special announcements, mini brochures, resumes, open house invitations. Have flyers always going out and about and around. Leave them places. Get the stuff out there. It shows that you're busy. It shows that you know the area, and it gets that name face recognition. Use pictures and graphics and stay away from dull, wordy formats. I said it before, say it again. Stay away from too much text. Use personal stationery. Nobody uses stationery anymore. Well, some people do, and if you do, use it and put your photo on it. Create seminars. I always do this. I always say this one. When I have people do this, every time I've had people follow me up on using a seminar, guess what happens? They get business. I had 2 agents partner together and do a buyer seminar, first time home buyer seminar. They get 21 or 22, something like that, 18. I don't know, something. It was a crazy number of buyers they got from it. Did they all close? No, a good amount of them did though. They split them in half, took the leads, and over the course of the next year, I think they each got at least 6 sales from it. It was, and it's like, well, why aren't you doing these quarterly? Why aren't you doing these all the time? Press release. You can do a seminar once a month. because some of them, like first-time home buyers, you do 4 times a year. You can do ones on short sales when the time is right. You can do ones on investment property. You can do all kinds of stuff. Press releases. Everything you write, submit to local newspapers. And newspapers, when I say that, also online publications. Content is king. If you want to be rated first in Google, you need new content. That's why blogging is so important. If you have a blog on your website, it'll move you right up past those #1 agents. I don't care if they sold 300 houses last year. You'll move past them if you're blogging, because even Google is hungry for new content. These little local rinky-dink papers can't afford to pay people. So when they get stuff for free, they can cut their budget by taking your free content. Wait, I'm going to give my stuff away for free? No, it's a trade-off because you're now being advertised. And because it's not a traditional ad, you're being touted by that publication as an expert. It gives you great credibility. Video brochures. You should have a video business card. If you don't have one, make one. You should have it in your favorites on your phone. You see somebody looking for a buyer, seller, this, that, whatever, you send it to them. You post it on a social media group. You put it on your website. You send it to every person the first time you meet them. You text it to them. Just a quick 30 seconds. It's 45 seconds tops. It's all it needs to be. Post it as a repetitive post on your websites. Hosted video listings. We teach how to do these here. They make such a huge difference where you take somebody on a virtual tour. I have them on YouTube. After the property sells, I leave them on YouTube. People will call me on a house I had listed 10 years ago. You know what? That house sold, but I have others in the inventory. Let's get going. And I build a relationship. Town videos and business videos. Show them around. Let them see, especially if you're in Florida and they don't live here. They don't know the difference between Tarpon Springs, Newport Richey, and St. Petersburg, right? Show it to them, or Dunedin. Show it to them in video. Wow, that looks like a cool little town. We want to get down there. We want to visit. So we would come down to Dunedin. Oh, we want to see houses. They call you because you're the one who introduced them to it. Institutional advertising. Advertise in real estate publications. There are less and less and less of these, but they're out there. Bus benches and billboards. They're very expensive, but they do create a name face recognition in some markets. If you're not making $20,000 a month, don't even think about these. But when you do, they do work for those types of things. Television and radio, also very expensive. But make sure it targets your market. You're better using a smaller niche broadcaster than a big one. You're probably better off advertising on a podcast than you are a radio station. Again, write a newspaper column. You make friends with one of these people where you send press releases. Hey, would you like me to write a homeowner's tip column once a week or once a month? It shows you as a local expert. For sale signs. I create for sale signs for my agents that request them because I have a special niche that works. I use a custom sign, including your picture, your cell phone that says call direct, has your website, and it has a QR to the listing on your website. I want to know more about this listing we're driving by. They're not with a realtor. Boom, instant gratification. Click here for more information on this listing. Takes them right to your website listing page. They can find it and get the information at their fingertips. It's your website, not the MLS, not Zillow, not homes.com, not realtor.com. So you're the only one advertised on there. So they're going to want to find out more. Who they're going to call? They're going to call you, not the Zillow Premier Agent. Make sure your social media @ is on there. People want to follow you. Movie theaters. You ever see those ads before the movies? It's a great way to advertise the locals. Have a personal license plate. See them once in a while around town. You should see them more often. I sell homes. Realtor. And of course, magnets on your car work just as well. That's what I have. Giveaways. Have small trinkets with clever messages. Have a coffee cup. Let's brew up some buyers for your house. Final thoughts. You need to create a 12-month plan and have it ready to go. Again, anybody that wants to join us, we will be doing this together for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks in October. Set aside the money for the entire campaign from the beginning and then stick with it. It may take 12 months before your phone rings, but once it does, the calls will keep on coming. else. All right. Thank you for joining me.